Long before the billions, long before the factories, the refineries, and the endless convoys of Dangote trucks, there was just a young boy in Kano. Born in 1957 into a family known for trade and business, Aliko Dangote grew up surrounded by the noise of markets. But even though he was born into a wealthy family, Dangote wasn't handed an empire. In fact, he built his from scratch, using one simple mindset: find what people made and deliver it better than anyone else. As a child, Dangote would buy sweets, sell them to his classmates, and make small profits. It wasn't about the money, it was the thrill of trading, the idea that you could create value from nothing. By the time he finished school and returned from studying business in Egypt, he knew exactly what he wanted to do: trade essential goods. In 1977, at just 20 years old, Dangote approached his uncle, Sanusi Datata, for help starting a small business. His uncle believed in him and gave him a loan of $500. With that money, Dangote bought rice, sugar, and cement, the everyday products Nigerians needed most. And in a country with rapidly growing population, essentials moved fast. Dangote also daily, buying moves, selling eyes, reversing everything. And within a few months, his tiny shop was moving millions of nairas in goods. While others chased luxury goods, Dangote focused on the basics: food, building materials, and everyday essentials. He wasn't trying to look rich, he was trying to build something that would last. And this mindset, solving everyday problem at scale, became the foundation of what would later grow into one of Africa's greatest business empires. But trading was the only beginning. The moment that truly changed everything was when Dangote realized he didn't just want to sell products, he wanted to produce them. By the mid-1990s, Dangote was already a successful trader. His businesses were moving sugar, salt, cement, and rice across Nigeria. But there is still a problem: he didn't control the supply. Everything he sold depended on imports. And in a country with unstable exchange rates and unpredictable global markets, this was a dangerous way to grow. Dangote understood something African businessmen ignored: if you don't control your source, you don't control the business. In 1997, he made a decision that shocked many traders. He announced that he would stop relying on imports and start manufacturing the products himself. To do this, he invested in machineries, factories, production plants, and took on a massive loan. But to Dangote, it wasn't a risk. Nigeria had over 100 million people at that time, and every single one of them needed salt, sugar, noodles, and cement. Dangote studied the market closely and realized that cement was the real opportunity. Nigeria was growing fast: new homes, new roads, new building, but most of the cement used in the country was imported. And that meant only one thing: whoever controlled the cement production would control the future of Nigeria infrastructure. In 2000, Dangote built his first cement plant. Manufacturing cement in Africa requires enormous capital, logistic, and political stability. But Dangote had a plan. A plan that also gave him an almost unshakable monopoly. Instead of waiting for customers to come to him, he created his own distribution empire. Dangote built thousands of trucks, built depots across the country, created a logistic network larger than some African militaries. This combination, manufacturing plus distribution, made Dangote unstoppable. While his competitors struggled with imports, Dangote produced locally, sold cheaper, delivered faster, and controlled the entire supply chain. By 2012, Dangote Cement wasn't just a Nigeria company, it was the largest cement producer in Africa. But this was just phase one. The real challenge, the project that would define his legacy, was still ahead. something the world didn't think was possible in Africa. Now, this is where Dangote stopped being a businessman and became a world system. These companies buy raw materials. Dangote didn't like that. So instead, he started producing almost everything he needed. His own packaging, his own sugar, his own salt, even his own trucks. Meaning, no supplier could slow him down or increase prices on him. He controlled everything from start to finish. Dangote wasn't choosing trends, he picked things that people use every single day. That alone gave him a huge advantage. Dangote didn't want middlemen, so he built his own logistics system. This is why you see Dangote products everywhere, from Lagos to Kano, from small kiosks to big supermarkets. He controlled how fast his product moved, and that made him dominate the market. You make your own raw materials, produce your own goods, and deliver them with your own trucks. Your production costs become extremely low. So, Dangote could sell cheaper than competitors and still make more profit than them. And he used that extra profit to build more factories, which created more profit. And whenever Nigeria changed a policy, Dangote was already positioned perfectly. Import bans, Dangote had local factories. Agricultural incentives, Dangote moved into fertilizers. Refinery push, Dangote built the biggest refinery in Africa. He didn't just react to change, he predicted them. Dangote didn't get big by luck, he got big because he built a system that couldn't be copied easily. A system that controls production, distribution, and demand all at the same time. Now, let's talk about the craziest part of Dangote's empire, the move that shocked the world, the Dangote refinery. This wasn't just another business idea, this was a massive gamble. The biggest project ever done by one person in Africa. Nigeria exports crude oil but imports refined fuel, meaning billions of dollars leave the country every year just to buy petrol. Dangote saw this problem and said, okay, I'm gonna fix this. Not a small one, not a medium one, the largest single train refinery in the world. A $19 billion project with 6,500 kilometers of pipeline, a plant bigger than some entire towns with thousands of workers and machines imported from multiple countries. This thing is basically its own city. Everyone said it was too big, too risky, and too impossible. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Nigeria isn't the easiest place for mega projects. Bad roads, delays, politics, inflation, exchange rates problem, equipment getting stuck at ports. Everything that could slow a project happened. But Dangote kept pushing. If the refinery fully runs, Nigeria reduces fuel imports, Africa gets cheaper refined products, Dangote becomes a massive portion of the oil market, billions stays inside the continent, and Dangote becomes even more powerful than he already is. To make it simple, this refinery could shift the balance of economic power in West Africa. But it's still a gamble. It's not perfect. There are delays, there are criticism, there are regulatory battles, there are political pressures, there's competition. And this is not guaranteed success. But if it works, Dangote empire doesn't just stay large, it becomes a story. This refinery is more than a business. It's Dangote attempts to build something that will outlive him, something that could shape Africa for the next 50 years. But Dangote's story is not perfect. He has been accused of creating monopolies, influencing government policies, and crushing competition. Some critics say he grew too powerful, others argue that Africa needs local giants, not foreign companies dominating the market. Whatever the truth is, one thing is clear. Dangote changed the business landscape of Africa forever. Today, Dangote is Africa's richest man and he has held that title for over a decade. His companies employ tens of thousands of people and this decision affects the daily life of millions. Whether you see him as a hero or a myth, the truth is undeniable. He built one of the greatest business empire in Africa history. And this is the story of how a small boy roaming around from the streets of Kano turned a $500 loan into a $20 billion Africa empire. So if you love this video and you have to watch more videos like this, make sure you actually subscribe and leave a like on this video so you get notification if I upload next. See you guys and peace out.